Welcome. I hope you're doing well tonight. Though, if you find yourself here, maybe, just maybe, you're having trouble sleeping. That's okay. I'll let you in on a little secret. I too have trouble sleeping sometimes. We're always thinking about what happened today, what will happen tomorrow. But forget that. I want you to just be for a moment. Wonderful. So close your eyes. Let your weight fall into the mattress. Bring the blankets up to your chin. And just settle in for tonight's sleep story. Tonight, I'll be reading the iOS14 terms and conditions. Because God knows I haven't read it, and you haven't. So we may as well, proverbially, kill two birds with one stone. Though no birds were harmed in the making of this sleep story tonight. Fear not about that. Instead, settle in, because we're about to begin. Important. By using your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, hereby referred to as device, you are agreeing to be bound by the following terms. Apple iOS and iPad OS software license agreement, Apple Pay supplemental terms, and notices from Apple. Please read this software license agreement, hereby referred to as license, carefully before using your device or downloading the software update accompanying this license. By using your device or downloading a software update as applicable, you are agreeing to be bound by the terms of this license. If you do not agree to the terms of this license, do not use the device or download the software update. If you have recently purchased a device and you do not agree to the terms of the license, you may return the device within the return period to the Apple Store or authorized distributor where you obtained it for a refund, subject to Apple's refund policy at https://www.apple.com/legal/sales-support/. Section 1. General. Section 1A. The software, including boot ROM code, embedded software and third-party software, documentation, interfaces, content, fonts, and any data that came with your device, hereby referred to as original Apple software. This may be updated or replaced by feature enhancements, software updates, or system restore software provided by Apple, hereby referred to as Apple software updates. Whether in read-only memory, or any other media, or in any other form, the original Apple software and Apple software updates are collectively referred to herein as the Apple software. Are licensed, not sold, to you by Apple Incorporated, hereby referred to as Apple, for use only under the terms of this license. Apple and its licensors retain ownership of the Apple software itself and reserve all rights not expressly granted to you. You agree that the terms of this license will apply to any Apple-branded app that may be built in on your device, unless such app is accompanied by a separate license, in which case, you agree that the terms of that license will govern your use of that app. Section 1B. Apple, at its discretion, may make available future Apple software updates. The Apple software updates, if any, may not necessarily include all existing software features or new features that Apple releases for newer or other models of devices. The terms of this license will govern any Apple software updates provided by Apple, unless such Apple software update is accompanied by a separate license, in which case you agree that the terms of that license will govern. Section 1C. If you use the Express Setup feature to set up a new device based on your existing device, you agree that the terms of this license will govern your use of the Apple software on your new device, unless it is accompanied by a separate license, in which case you agree that the terms of that license will govern your use of that Apple software. Your device will periodically check with Apple for Apple software updates. If an update is available, the update may automatically download and install onto your device, and if applicable, your peripheral devices. By using the Apple software, you agree that Apple may download and install automatic Apple software updates onto your device and your peripheral devices. You can turn off automatic updates altogether at any time by changing the automatic updates settings found within Settings, General, Software Update. Section 2. Permitted license uses and restrictions. Section 2A. Subject to the terms and conditions of this license, you are granted a limited, non-exclusive license to use the Apple software on a single Apple-branded device. Except as permitted in Section 2B below, and unless as provided in a separate agreement between you and Apple, this license does not allow the Apple software to exist on more than one Apple-branded device at a time. And you may not distribute or make the Apple software available over a network where it could be used by multiple devices at the same time. This license does not grant you any rights to use Apple proprietary interfaces and other intellectual property in the design, development, manufacture, licensing, or distribution of third-party devices and accessories, or third-party software applications for use with devices. Some of those rights are available under separate licenses from Apple. For more information on developing third-party devices and accessories for devices, please visit https://developer.apple.com/programs/MFI/. For more information on developing software applications for devices, please visit https://developer.apple.com. Section 2B. Subject to the terms and conditions of this license, you are granted a limited, non-exclusive license to download Apple software updates that may be made available by Apple for your model of the device, to update or restore the software of any such device that you own or control. This license does not allow you to update or restore any device that you do not control or own, and you may not distribute or make the Apple software updates available over a network where they could be used by multiple devices or multiple computers at the same time. If you download an Apple software update to your computer, you may make one copy of the Apple software updates stored on your computer in machine-readable form for backup purposes only, provided that the backup copy must include all copyright or other proprietary notices contained on the original. Section 2C. To the extent that Apple has pre-installed Apple-branded apps from the App Store on your device at the time of purchase, hereby referred to as pre-installed apps, you will not log into the App Store and associate these pre-installed apps with your App Store account in order to use them on your device. When you associate a pre-installed app with your App Store account, you will at the same time be automatically associating all other pre-installed apps on your device. By choosing to associate the pre-installed apps with your App Store account, you agree that Apple may transmit, collect, maintain, process, and use both the Apple ID used by your App Store account and a unique hardware identifier collected from your device as unique account identifiers for the purpose of verifying the eligibility of your request and providing you access to the pre-installed apps through the App Store. If you do not wish to use a pre-installed app, you can delete it from your device at any time. Section 2D. You may not, and you agree not to, or enable others to, copy, except as expressly permitted by this license. Decompile, reverse engineer, disassemble, attempt to derive the source code of, decrypt, modify, or create derivative works of Apple software, or any services provided by the Apple software or any part thereof, except as and only to the extent any foregoing restriction is prohibited by applicable law or by licensing terms governing use of open source components that may be included within the Apple software. You agree not to remove, obscure, or alter any proprietary notices, including trademark and copyright notices, that may be affixed to or contained within the Apple software. Section 2E. The Apple software may be used to reproduce materials, so long as such use is limited to reproduction of non-copyrighted materials, materials in which you own the copyright, or materials you are authorized or legally permitted to reproduce. Title and intellectual property rights in and to any content displayed by, stored, or accessed through your device belong to the respective content owner. Such content may be protected by copyright or other intellectual property laws and treaties, and may be subject to terms of use of the third party providing such content, except as otherwise provided herein. This license does not grant you any rights to use such content, nor does it guarantee that such content will continue to be available to you. Section 2F. Subject to the terms and conditions of this license, you may use the emoji characters included in or created with the Apple software, hereby referred to as system characters. 1. While running the Apple software, and 2. To create your own original content and projects for your personal, non-commercial use. No other use of the system characters is permitted by this license, including but not limited to the use, reproduction, display, performance, recording, publishing, nor redistribution of any of the system characters in a profit, non-profit, public sharing, or commercial context. Section 2G. In order to complete certain app and/or website action shortcuts, the Apple software may need to access certain third-party software applications, services, or websites on your device. You may expressly consent to such use to the extent necessary to complete the shortcut with the Apple software. Section 2H. You agree to use the Apple software and the services as defined in Section 5 below, in compliance with all applicable laws, including local laws of the country or region in which you reside, or in which you download or use the Apple software and services. Features of the Apple software and the services may not be available in all languages or regions. Some features may vary by region, and some may be restricted or unavailable from your service provider. A Wi-Fi or cellular data connection is required for some features of the Apple software and services. Section 2I. Use of the App Store requires a unique username and password combination known as an Apple ID. An Apple ID is also required to access apps, updates, and certain features of the Apple software and services. 2J. You acknowledge that any features, built-in apps and services of the Apple software transmit data and could impact charges to your data plan, and that you are responsible for any such charges. You can view and control which applications are permitted to use cellular data and do an estimate of how much data such applications have consumed under cellular data settings. In addition, Wi-Fi Assist will automatically switch to cellular when you have a poor Wi-Fi connection, which might result in more cellular data use and impact charges to your data plan. Wi-Fi Assist is on by default, but can be disabled under settings. For more information, please consult the user guide for your device. Section 2K. If you choose to allow automatic updates, your device will periodically check with Apple for updates to the apps on your device, and if one is available, the update will automatically download and install onto your device. You can turn off the automatic app updates altogether at any time by going to Settings, tap iTunes and App Store, and under Automatic Downloads, turn off Updates. Section 2L. Using your device in some circumstances can distract you and may cause a dangerous situation. For example, avoid typing a text while driving a car or using headphones while riding a bicycle. By using your device, you agree that you are responsible for observing rules that prohibit or restrict the use of mobile phones or headphones. For example, the requirement to use hands-free options for making calls when driving. Section 3. Transfer. You may not rent, lease, lend, sell, redistribute, or sub-license the Apple software. You may, however, make a one-time permanent transfer of all of your license rights to the Apple software to another party in connection with the transfer of ownership of your device. Provided that A, the transfer must include your device and all of the Apple software, including all of its component parts, and this license. B, you do not retain any copies of the Apple software, full or partial, including copies stored on the computer or other storage device. And C, the party receiving the Apple software reads and agrees to accept the terms and conditions of this license. Section 4. Consent to use of data. When you use your device, your phone number and certain unique identifiers for your device are sent to Apple in order to allow others to reach you by your phone number when using various communication features of the Apple software, such as iMessage and FaceTime. When you use iMessage, Apple may hold your messages in encrypted form for a limited period of time in order to ensure their delivery. You may turn off FaceTime or iMessage by going to the FaceTime or Messages settings on your device. Certain features, like analytics, location services, Siri, and dictation, may require information from your device to provide their respective functions. When you turn on or use these features, details will be provided regarding what information is sent to Apple and how the information may be used. You can learn more by visiting https://www.apple.com/privacy/ At all times, your information will be treated in accordance with Apple's privacy policy, which can be viewed at https://www.apple.com/legal/ privacy. / Section 5. Services and third-party materials. Section 5A. The Apple software may enable access to Apple's iTunes Store, App Store, Apple Books, Game Center, iCloud, Maps, and other Apple and third-party services and websites, collectively and individually known herein as services. Use of these services requires internet access, and use of certain services may require an Apple ID, may require you to accept additional terms, and may be subject to additional fees. By using this software, in connection with an Apple ID or other Apple services, you agree to the applicable terms of service, such as the latest Apple Media Services terms and conditions for the country or region in which you access such services, which you may access and review at https://www.apple.com/legal/services/iTunes/ Section 5B. If you sign up for iCloud, certain iCloud features like iCloud Drive, My Photo Stream, Shared Albums, and Find My may be accessed directly from the Apple software. You acknowledge and agree that your use of iCloud and these features is subject to the latest terms and conditions of the iCloud service, which you may access and review at https://www.apple.com/legal/internet-services/iCloud. Section 5C. News app content. Your use of content accessed through the news application is limited solely to the personal, non-commercial use. It does not transfer any ownership, interest to you in the content, and specifically excludes without limitation any commercial or promotional use rights in such content. Furthermore, you are prohibited from republishing, retransmitting, and reproducing any images accessed through news as a stand-alone file. Section 5D. Maps. The map service and features of the Apple software, hereby referred to as maps, including map data coverage, may vary by region. When you turn on or use maps, details will be provided regarding what information is sent to Apple and how the information may be used. Section 5E. You understand that by using any of the services, you may encounter content that may be deemed offensive, indecent, or objectionable, which content may or may not be identified as having explicit language, and that the results of any search or entering a particular URL may automatically and unintentionally generate links or references to objectionable material. Nevertheless, you agree to use the services at your sole risk, and that Apple, its affiliates, agents, principals, or licenses shall have no liability to you for the content that may be found to be offensive, indecent, or objectionable. Section 5F. Certain services may display, include, or make available content, data, information, applications, or materials from third parties, hereby referred to as third-party materials, or provide links to certain third-party websites. By using the services, you acknowledge and agree that Apple is not responsible for examining or evaluating the content, accuracy, completeness, timeliness, validity, copyright compliance, legality, decency, quality, or any other aspect of such third-party materials or websites. Apple, its officers, affiliates, and subsidiaries do not warrant or endorse and do not assume it will have any liability or responsibility to you or any other person for any third-party services, third-party materials, or websites. or for any other materials, products, or services of third parties. Third-party materials and links to other websites are provided solely as a convenience to you. Or any other data displayed by any services. Financial information displayed by any services is for general information purposes only and should not be relied upon as investment advice. Before executing any securities transaction based upon information obtained through the services, you should consult with a financial or securities professional who is legally qualified to give financial or securities advice in your country or region. Location data provided by any services, including the Apple Maps service, is provided for basic navigational and planning purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon in situations where precise location information is needed, or where erroneous, inaccurate, time-delayed, or incomplete location data may lead to death, personal injury, property, or environmental damage. You agree that the results you receive from the map service may vary from actual road or terrain conditions due to factors that can affect the accuracy of the map's data, such as, but not limited to, weather, road, and traffic conditions, and geopolitical events. For your safety, when using the navigation feature, always pay attention to posted road signs and current road conditions. Follow safe driving practices and traffic regulations. And note that cycling and walking directions may not include designated pathways. Section 5H. To the extent that you upload any content through the use of the services, you represent that you own all rights in or have authorization or otherwise legally permitted to upload such content, and that such content does not violate any terms or service applicable to the services. You agree that the services contain proprietary content, information, and material that is owned by Apple, the site owner, or their licenses, and is protected by applicable intellectual property and other laws, including, but not limited to, copyright. You agree that you will not use such proprietary content, information, or materials other than for permitted use of the services, or in any manner that is inconsistent with the terms of this license, or that infringes any intellectual property rights of a third party or Apple. No portion of the services may be reproduced in any form or by any means. You agree not to modify, rent, lease, loan, sell, distribute, or create derivative works based on the services in any manner, and you shall not exploit the services in any unauthorized way whatsoever, including, but not limited to, using the services to transmit computer viruses, worms, Trojan horses, or other malware, or by trespass or burdening network capacity. You further agree not to use the services in any manner to harass, abuse, stalk, threaten, defame, or otherwise infringe or violate the rights of any other party, and that Apple is not in any way responsible for any such use by you, nor for any harassing, threatening, defamatory, offensive, infringing, or illegal messages or transmissions that you may receive as a result of using any of the services. Section 5I. In addition, such services and third-party materials may not be available in all languages or in all countries or regions. Apple makes no representation that such services and third-party materials are appropriate or available for use in any particular location. To the extent you choose to use or access such services or third-party materials, you do so at your own initiative and are responsible for compliance with any applicable laws, including, but not limited to, applicable local laws and privacy and data collection laws. Sharing or syncing photos through your device may cause metadata, including where and when the photo was taken, and depth information to be transmitted with the photos. Use of Apple services, such as iCloud Photo Library. To share or sync such photos will involve Apple receiving and storing such metadata. Apple and its licenses reserve the right to change, suspend, remove, or disable access to any services at any time without notice. In no event will Apple be liable for the removal of or disabling of access to any such services. Apple may also impose limits on the use of or access to certain services, in any case and without notice, or liability. Section 6. Termination. The license is effective until terminated. Your rights under this license will terminate automatically or otherwise cease to be effective without notice from Apple if you fail to comply with any of the terms of this license. Upon the termination of this license, you shall cease all use of the Apple software. Sections 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13 of this license shall survive any such termination. Section 7. Disclaimer of warranties. 7.1. If you are a customer who is a consumer, someone who uses the Apple software outside of your trade, business, or profession, you may have legal rights in your country of residence which would prohibit the following limitations from applying to you, and where prohibited, they will not apply to you. To find out more about rights, you should contact a local consumer advice organization. 7.2. You expressly acknowledge and agree that to the extent permitted by applicable law, use of the Apple software and any services performed by or accessed through the Apple software is at your sole risk, and that the entire risk as to satisfactory quality, performance, accuracy, and effort is with you. 7.3. To the maximum extent permitted by applicable law, the Apple software and services are provided as is and as available, with all faults and without warranty of any kind. And Apple and Apple's licenses, collectively referred to as Apple for the purposes of sections 7 and 8, hereby disclaim all warranties and conditions with respect to the Apple software and services, either express, implied, or statutory, including, but not limited to, the implied warranties and or conditions of merchantability, satisfactory quality, fitness for a particular purpose, accuracy, quiet enjoyment, and non-infringement of third-party rights. 7.4. Apple does not warrant against interference with your enjoyment of the Apple software and services, or the functions contained in or services performed or provided by the Apple software will meet your requirements. That the operation of the Apple software and services be uninterrupted or error-free, that any service will continue to be made available, that defects in the Apple software or services will be corrected, whether the Apple software will be compatible or work with any third-party software, applications, or third-party services. Installation of this Apple software may affect the availability and usability of third-party software, applications, or third-party services, as well as Apple products and services. 7.5. You further acknowledge that the Apple software and services are not intended or suitable for use in situations or environments where the failure or time delays of, or errors or inaccuracies in the content, data, or information provided by the Apple software or services could lead to death, personal injury, or severe physical or environmental damage, including without limitation, the operation of nuclear facilities, aircraft navigation or communication systems, air traffic control, life support, or weapons systems. 7.6. No oral or written information or advice given by Apple or an Apple authorized representative shall create a warranty. Should the Apple software or services prove defective, you assume the entire cost of all necessary servicing, repair, or correction. Some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion of implied warranties or limitations on applicable statutory rights of a consumer, so the above exclusion and limitations may not apply to you. Section 8. Limitation of liability. To the extent not prohibited by applicable law, in no event shall Apple, its affiliates, agents, or principals be liable for personal injury or any accidental, special, indirect, or consequential damage whatsoever, including, without limitation, damages for loss of profits, corruption or loss of data, failure to transmit or receive any data, including without limitation course instructions, assignments and materials, business interruption, or any other commercial damages or losses arising out of or related to your use or inability to use the Apple software and services or any third-party software, applications, or services in conjunction with the Apple software or services, whatever cause, regardless of the theory of liability, contract, tort, or otherwise. And even if Apple has been advised of the possibility of such damages, some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion or limitation of liability for personal injury or of incidental or consequential damages. So, this limitation may not apply to you. In no event shall Apple's total liability to you for all damages, other than as may be required by applicable law in cases involving personal injury, exceed the amount of $250 US, $250.00. The foregoing limitations will apply even if the above stated remedy fails of its essential purpose. Section 9. Digital certificates. The Apple software contains functionality that allows it to accept digital certificates, either issued from Apple or from third parties. You are solely responsible for deciding whether or not to rely on a certificate, whether issued by Apple or a third party. Your use of digital certificates is at your sole risk. To the maximum extent permitted by applicable law, Apple makes no warranties or representations express or implied as to the merchantability or fitness for any particular purpose, accuracy, security, or infringement of third-party rights. With respect to digital certificates. Section 10. Export control. You may not use or otherwise export or re-export the Apple software except as authorized by United States law and the laws of the jurisdictions in which the Apple software was obtained. In particular, but without limitation, the Apple software may not be exported or re-exported, A, into any US embargoed countries, or B, to anyone on the US Treasury Department's list of specially designated nationals, or the US Department of Commerce denied persons list, or entity list, or any other restricted party lists. By using the Apple software, you represent and warrant that you are not located in any such country or on any such list. You also agree that you will not use the Apple software for any purposes prohibited by United States law, including, without limitation, the development, design, manufacture, or production of missiles, nuclear, chemical, or biological weapons. Section 11. Government end users. The Apple software and related documentation are commercial items, as that term is defined at 48 CFR Section 2.101, consisting of commercial computer software and commercial computer software documentation, as such terms are used in Section 48 CFR Section 12.212, or 48 CFR Section 227.7202 as applicable, consistent with 48 CFR Section 12.212, or 48 CFR Section 227.72021 through 227.72024 as applicable. The commercial computer software and commercial computer software documentation are being licensed to US government end users A, only as commercial items, and B, with only those rights as are granted to all other end users pursuant to the terms and conditions herein. Unpublished rights reserved under the copyright laws of the United States. Section 12. Controlling law and severability. This license will be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of the state of California, excluding its conflict of law principles. This license shall not be governed by the United States Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods, the application of which is expressly excluded. If you are a consumer based in the United Kingdom, this license will be governed by the laws of the jurisdiction of your residence. If for any reason a court of competent jurisdiction finds any provision or portion thereof to be unenforceable, the remainder of this license shall continue in full force and effect. Section 13. Complete agreement. Governing language. This license constitutes the entire agreement between you and Apple relating to the Apple software and supersedes all prior or contemporaneous understandings regarding such a subject matter. No amendment to or modification of this license will be binding unless in writing and signed by Apple. Any translation of this license is done for local requirements, and in the event of a dispute between the English and non-English versions, the English version of this license shall govern to the extent not prohibited by law in your local jurisdiction. Section 14. Third-Party Acknowledgements. Portions of the Apple software may utilize or include third-party software and other copyrighted material. Acknowledges licensing terms and disclaimers for such material are contained in the electronic documentation of the Apple software, and your use of such material is governed by their respective terms. Use of the Google Safe Browsing Service is subject to the Google Terms of Service, found at https://policies/en/terms/ and to Google's privacy policy, found at https://policies/policies/privacy. Section 15. Use of MPEG-4 H.264 AVC notice. 15a. The Apple software is licensed under the MPEG-4 Systems Patent Portfolio License for encoding in compliance with the MPEG-4 Systems Standard, except that an additional license and payment of royalties are necessary for encoding in connection with 1. Data stored or replicated in physical media, which is paid for on a title-by-title basis, and or 2. Data, which is paid for on a title-by-title basis and is transmitted to an end user for permanent storage and or use. Such additional license may be obtained from MPEG LA LLC. See it. https://www.mpegla.com for additional details. Section 15b. The Apple software contains MPEG-4 video encoding and or decoding functionality. The Apple software is licensed under the MPEG-4 Visual Patent Portfolio License for the personal and non-commercial use of a consumer for 1. Encoding video in compliance with the MPEG-4 visual standard, hereby referred to as MPEG-4 video, and or 2. Decoding MPEG-4 video that was encoded by a consumer engaged in a personal and non-commercial activity and or was obtained from a video provider licensed by MPEG-LA to provide MPEG-4 video. No license is granted or shall be implied for any other use. Additional information, including that relating to promotional, internal, and commercial uses and licensing, may be obtained from MPEG-LA LLC. See https:// www.mpegla.com. Dot. No, I wasn't supposed to say that final dot. But ignore that one. Section 15C. The Apple software contains AVC encoding and/or decoding functionality. Commercial use of H.264 AVC requires additional licensing, and the following provision applies. The AVC functionality in the Apple software is licensed herein only for the personal and non-commercial use of a consumer to 1. Encode video in compliance with the AVC standard, hereby referred to as AVC video, and/or decode AVC video that was encoded by a consumer engaged in a personal and non-commercial activity, and/or AVC video that was obtained from a video provider licensed to provide AVC video. Information regarding other uses and licenses may be obtained from MPEG LLC. See www.mpegla.com. Section 16. Yahoo search service restrictions. The Yahoo search service available through Safari is licensed for use only in the following countries and regions: Argentina, Aruba, Australia, Austria, Barbados, Belgium, Bermuda, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Cayman Islands, Chile, China mainland, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Colombia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Grenada, Guatemala, Hungary, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Malta, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Norway, Panama, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Puerto Rico, Romania, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Korea, Spain, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Turkey, UK, Uruguay, US, and Venezuela. Section 17. Microsoft Exchange Notice. The Microsoft Exchange Mail setting in the Apple software is licensed only for over-the-air synchronization of information, such as email, contacts, calendar, and tasks. between your device and Microsoft Exchange server or other server software license by Microsoft to implement the Microsoft Exchange Active Sync protocol. Thank you for joining me on this journey as we read out the Apple iOS 14 terms and conditions. I'm glad you've stuck around, though I hope in some ways I'm talking to someone not listening, and that I'm talking to someone who's sound asleep. I hope this has helped you drift off, or at least has made your lids heavy, and as it fades off into the distance, as it fades away into silence, you so too can fade away into sleep. Once again, I say thank you. I know how difficult getting to sleep can be for some. And if I could have made that a little bit easier, then I'm happy. So, settle in as this fades away, as it drifts into silence and you drift into slumber. I hope to see you again. Maybe soon. Maybe in a long time, but I just hope to see you again. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.